Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event that you would like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 970-677-4119. Today's show runs Wednesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today's April 11th, 2018. And now, the news at noon. From the Journal, photo Stephanie Alderton. A red flag warning is in effect from noon to 8 p.m. Wednesday for Montezuma and La Plata counties because weather conditions are ideal for wildland fires, the National Weather Service said on Tuesday. In Montezuma County, controlled burns, fireworks, and open fires are banned during a red flag day. Residents in unincorporated Montezuma County are directed by county ordinance to call a dispatcher at 970-565-8411 the day of the proposed burn and before it started. A violation of the ordinance may be punished up to a fine of up to $1,000. On Monday, Montezuma County Commissioners on the afternoon announced that a countywide fire ban would take effect on the 16th, based on a recommendation from Sheriff Steve Nallen. Beginning April 16th, no open fires or use of fireworks will be allowed in unincorporated Montezuma County. Gusty, dry, and warm weather is expected through Wednesday, with high temperatures near 70 degrees and overnight lows around 45 degrees, as we'll see later in the forecast. Winds are expected to be 15 to 25 miles an hour, with gusts reaching 35. Humidity is expected to be 9 to 14%. So there's a 20% chance of rain or snow showers Thursday and Friday, but the Weather Service said sunny and cool weather is expected Saturday through Monday. The red flag warning and fire ban come after a brush fire on Saturday forced the evacuation of a family that lives north of the Ute Mountain Casino in Toyac. The fire spread quickly near the U.S. Highway 160 and County Road A and shut down U.S. Highway 160 for more than 2 hours from roughly 4 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Cortez Fire Protection District, Ute Mountain Ute, and Lewis Areola Fire Departments responded to the scene. From the Journal, photo Chuck Melvin showing Quiddity, a canine who helped out. A missing 8-year-old girl was found safe near Pleasant View on Friday night after a search involving Montezuma County Sheriff's deputies and the Dolores-based K-9 Search and Rescue Team. Deputies responded just before 9 p.m. to the intersection of County Roads 15 and Y after an off-duty Colorado State Patrol trooper reported a child missing in the area. They called in K-9 Search and Rescue as well as the Cortez Police Department's K-9 officers to help with the search. The girl was found at her grandmother's property about 2 hours after deputies were called in. According to an incident report by Patrol Sergeant Brad Ray, the search for the girl had started about 2 hours before deputies were called after she wandered away from a residence on County Road 15. Chuck Melvin, director of the K-9 Search and Rescue Team, said Pleasant View firefighters had started the search. The searchers sent K-9 dogs towards the intersection of Roads 16 and Y after someone reported seeing a young girl hiding in a ditch near the roads. Ray also reported he contacted neighboring counties to see if they had a helicopter that could help in the search, but none were available. Melvin said his K-9, a Dutch Shepherd named Quiddity, had hardly begun searching for the child before she was found. According to Ray's report, the girl was found after her grandmother checked her residence on County Road Y. Medics were called into the scene to check on the girl and reportedly said she was in good health. Melvin said this was his team's 6th search and rescue mission in 2018. One of the others was canceled and 2 were standby missions, he said. It's been a slow year for us, which is a good thing, he said. The K-9 Search and Rescue Team is a nonprofit based in Dolores that has assisted with rescue operations in 12 states since it was formed in 1984. Quiddity is one of the team's newer recruits, having finished her training in 2014. From the Durango Herald, photos Herald Files. The Environmental Protection Agency is considering hauling waste from the Gold King mine more than 70 miles to the Bondad landfill south of Durango. However, critics say the proposed plan is not financially or environmentally practical when the cost of hauling and dumping the sludge, as well as the carbon footprint of all of those trucks' hauls, are taken into account. You may be getting some zinc out of the water and saving some fish, but think of the environmental damage and carbon footprint, said San Juan County Commissioner Scott Fetchenauer. It's huge, but the EPA may be left with no other option. A temporary water treatment plant was set up at the cost of $1.5 million in October of 2015, just 3 months after the EPA triggered the Gold King mine blowout, sending a torrent of mined waste down the Animas and San Juan rivers. Since the water treatment plant has been removing potentially toxic metals out of mined waste discharging from the Gold King mine, which continues to spew about 600 gallons a minute, according to EPA officials. For years, the standard for treating acidic mine wastewater has been through using a lime treatment to raise the pH of the water so that dissolved metals become solids and can settle in settling ponds. While lime treatment is highly effective in improving water quality, the process generates a massive amount of sludge, most of which, about 95%, is the lime added to help in the first place. About 5% of the sludge is the actual toxic metals. The sludge, however, is considered non-hazardous and may be dumped in a landfill. The EPA's water treatment plant for the Gold King mine produces about 4,600 cubic yards of sludge every year, said Cynthia Peterson, an agency spokeswoman. For the past 3 years, EPA has deposited the sludge on site at the temporary water treatment plant in an area known as Gladstone, about 6 miles north of Silverton on County Road 110. However, the EPA is likely to run out of storage capacity at the water treatment plant site by July, Peterson said. EPA has been actively trying to find other places to dump the sludge around Silverton, namely the Sunnyside Tailings Pond or the Howardsville site, both existing sites for mined waste with no success. The Sunnyside Tailings Pond is owned by Sunnyside Gold Corporation, and the Howardsville site is owned by Todd Hennis, who also owns the Gold King mine. Both are, quote, potentially responsible parties in the EPA's Superfund cleanup. As a result, the EPA may be forced to haul the sludge nearly 2 hours over 2 mountain passes and through Durango to dump it at the Bondad landfill, which is about 18 miles south of Durango off US Highway 550. Fetch and Hire agreed the best spot for dumping sludge would be an already affected area in Silverton, but he acknowledged the difficulty in finding a property owner that would be open to the idea. Still, Fetch and Hire, a geologist and former miner, questioned the ultimate benefits of a lime treatment plant. First, the lime has to be mined and then crushed, then it has to be hauled 100 miles from Farmington to Silverton, and the cost of the plant is $1 million a year to operate. Committing to hauling the sludge to a landfill nearly 2 hours away and the fees associated with the landfill is likely to significantly increase the cost of treatment. It also has an environmental impact, Fetch and Hire said. EPA hasn't made a final decision either way, and it didn't have specifics about the cost or number of truckloads it would take to transport the waste to the Bondad landfill. And now, let's take a look at the weather. The National Weather News is focused on a strong spring snowstorm expected to bring heavy snow and blizzard conditions to the northern plains and Great Lakes. Heavy storms from East Texas north and snows for Wyoming and surrounding states. The storm may be bringing wind-whipped heavy snow in parts of the Rockies, northern plains and Great Lakes as it moves in over the weekend. While there have been much warmer temperatures across most of the eastern half of the country, that will change drastically as these systems move in. Severe storms have been hitting Florida recently. A tornado whipped through the Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport on the afternoon of April 10th. The tornado briefly shut down a runway, damaged a small private plane, and blew luggage trolleys into the airfield. Peak winds of 84 miles an hour were reported, and a funnel cloud was also reported in the Port Everglades area of Fort Lauderdale. Some rains continue in the Pacific Northwest, while the rest of the west and southwest remain dangerously dry for now. Regionally, of course, again, we have those red flag warnings ahead of the winds that are expected to hit the region. A weak disturbance will bring light snow to the northern Colorado mountains this morning, with some light activity lingering into the afternoon. Accumulations are expected to be less than an inch above 9,000 feet, so impacts will be minimal. During the afternoon, increasing winds and low relative humidity combined with dry vegetation in southwest Colorado will lead to critical fire weather conditions from noon to 8 p.m. this evening. Winds will increase Thursday ahead of a cold front that will move through Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. Strong winds and low relative humidity could bring critical fire weather concerns to portions of southwest Colorado during the afternoon and early evening hours. Southwest to west winds ranging from 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts from 45 to 55 are possible for a number of areas, and a wind advisory may be activated this afternoon. Once the front moves through late Thursday into Friday, significant snowfall is possible for the northern and central Colorado mountains, along with areas of blowing snow. The latest data suggests accumulations of 5 to 10 inches above 8,500 feet, with locally higher amounts possible. And the National Weather Service reports temperatures nearly 15 degrees above normal will trick you into thinking it's time to plant your plants in the garden today. However, a strong cold front on Thursday will allow temperatures to plummet late Thursday night and through Saturday. All areas across eastern Utah and western Colorado are anticipated to be below freezing by Friday morning and again on Saturday morning. Significant amounts of snow are possible late Thursday into Friday, not only in the mountains, but some valley locations may also see snowfall mainly across northwest Colorado. The DCTV 5-day outlook: today mostly sunny with a high near 72. Breezy with a south-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 30. Then tonight, mostly clear with a low around 46 degrees. Breezy with a south-southwest wind 15 to 25 miles an hour, again with gusts to 35 miles an hour. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 60. Windy with a south wind 25 to 35 miles an hour, becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 50 miles an hour. Thursday night, a 30% chance of snow showers, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 26. Windy with a northwest wind 25 to 30 miles an hour, decreasing to 20 to 25 miles an hour after midnight, but winds could gust as high as 45 miles an hour. Friday, a 20% chance of snow showers before noon, mostly cloudy with a high just near 44 degrees. Breezy with a north wind around 20 miles an hour with gusts as high as 35. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 25 and blustery. Then Saturday, sunny with a high near 53. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 27. Sunday, sunny with a high near 61. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 38. And heading into the work week Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 65. Breezy. And Monday night, partly cloudy with a low around 35 and breezy. And now back to the news. Reported on KVNF Radio, Western Slope Resource reporting about Russian olive trees and how to remove them. Amanda Quenzi, a community science director with Mountain Studies Institute in Durango, a botanist at her core, Amanda began her career studying fire ecology at Bandelier National Monument. Amanda leads MSI's programs for community engagement and citizen science and is an expert botanist. She's endeavored to master the mitigation of environmental pollutants in our area, such as the Russian olive trees. The plan is in place to remove invasive trees outside of Durango. Landowners with Russian olive tree problems can share the cost of mitigation with community organizations. The problem with Russian olive trees is that they spread seeds and propagate literally by the hundreds from one single tree. The Mountain Studies Institute will cut the tree down and inject it with a herbicide. Quincy wants to be careful with the application of the herbicide so as not to pollute the waterways she is there to protect. This means that every tree is to be treated individually. This is obviously a time-consuming project. To make this happen, she has coordinated with the Southwest Conservation Corps to do most of the labor. The goal is to return the land as to when it was in its pristine state before the Russian tree invasion began. So far, they've cleared 300 acres. According to the USDA, the exact date of the introduction of the Russian olive is unknown. They do report that it was introduced to the central and western U.S. by the early 1900s. The cost of recycling may be going up. From the Durango Herald with file photo. Residents could pay more for recycling on their monthly utility bill by the summer. A new monthly surcharge is needed to cover processing costs that went up in March, City Operations Director Levi Lloyd told the Durango City Council on Tuesday. Residents could pay a recycling charge of $2.69 per month to cover the expense, he said. Costs to process recycling are rising because last year China stopped accepting recyclable materials with higher rates of contamination, and that has flooded the global market. China essentially said they did not want to be the landfill for the rest of the world, Lloyd said. The city sends its single-stream recycling to Friedman Recycling in Albuquerque for processing, and the company informed city staff in March it was increasing its processing rates by $25 per ton. Since the market was flooded with material, the company must store tons of recyclables and spend more time marketing material, Lloyd said. The city has also stopped earning money on its recyclable materials as a result of China's ban on contaminated shipments. If the city doesn't add the surcharge, in 12 months it could face a $180,000 budget shortfall, Lloyd said. He pitched the council on a surcharge because it could be easily rescinded when the market for recyclables improves. Councilor Sweetie Marbury asked Lloyd if the city could store its own materials. The city doesn't have the space, and there are land use code restrictions that would prevent storing it, Lloyd and city manager Ron LeBlanc said. The city's single-stream recycling program keeps about 30% of residential and commercial waste out of the landfill. The city could sort its own recyclables instead of baling all kinds of material together, but that would require more than $1 million in new equipment and a long transition process. Friedman Recycling is also cautioning Durango and other suppliers not to make wholesale changes because the market could improve. The city may also have to stop accepting certain kinds of plastics and chipboard, which is used in cereal boxes, because there is not a good market for those products. Reported in the San Juan Record, photo credit KUER. In the past, the designation of Bears Ears National Monument triggered a 35% increase in visitation to local lands administered by the Bureau of Land Management, or BLM. The estimated number of visitors in the area covered by the Monticello field office jumped from 297,000 in 2016 to over 403,000 in 2017. The Monticello field office covers all but the northern end of San Juan County and includes both the initial 1.35 million acre Bears Ears and the reduced 200,000 acre monument. The BLM states that the Indian Creek area continues to be popular and accounts for nearly 70% of the use in the field office area. That area is included in the Indian Creek unit of the National Monument. In the Shash Jah unit of Bears Ears, the BLM reports that the hike to House on Fire ruin was another popular area to visit last year and accounted for much of the increased day use in the Cedar Mesa area. Last spring, the area experienced a significant increase in visitors in the Cedar Mesa area. The BLM states that these visits were primarily day users as opposed to backcountry or overnight visitors. Visitation trends to southeastern Utah have steadily increased over the last 10 years, from over 226,000 in 2012 to over 403,000 in 2017. This represents a 78% increase over 6 years. In December 2016, President Barack Obama designated the new monument, which was cut back 1 year later by President Donald Trump. The monuments were created in part to honor the ties which traditional and native communities have to the area. In addition to Bears Ears, these areas include Cedar Mesa and Alkali Ridge. Visiting public lands in the region offers a unique experience, connecting people to America's natural and cultural heritage. The BLM continues to monitor visitation trends in order to better serve visitors, local communities, and protect important cultural resources on all public lands. Because public lands are open to all, without specific entry points, determining visitation is a complex process. The BLM utilizes multiple resources of information, including overnight and day use permits, campground use, data reported under special recreation permits, trailhead registers, and traffic counters. And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of April 2nd through the 9th. A town resident requested a welfare check for family in Egner. A deputy was made contact with the party and all was well. The Sheriff's Office and Dove Creek Fire Department responded to a broken gas line in town. Atmos Energy responded and plugged and repaired the break. A report of harassment was taken by an officer and an investigation is ongoing. The officers were able to conduct several VIN inspections during the week. The Utah Port of Entry contacted the office to help locate a trucker passing through that had left some important information at their office. The trucker was located and returned for his information. Jody Ellis was arrested on 3 Dolores County warrants for failing to appear. Matthew Dickinson was arrested after a traffic contact for a warrant for failing to appear and was also charged with no driver's license, no insurance, no registration, and failing to stop at a stop sign. A reckless semi headed northbound on Highway 491 to Dove Creek. Officers could not locate it, and the Utah Port of Entry was notified. The driver was contacted at the port. A resident called in a missing license plate. There was a call for a possible break-in, and an officer responded. There were several controlled burns called into the Sheriff's Office during the week. And that concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for next week for continuing updates. Today's High Canyon Country happenings. April 14th, up in Moab. Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m., it's the Moab Art Walk. Stop in at various shops around town. Moonflower Community Cooperative asks you to come into their shop to meet featured artists, browse unique art, and enjoy some snacks. It's Child Abuse Awareness Month. You may have seen all of the blue ribbons and pinwheels around town. The Four Corners Child Advocacy Center is hosting a Go Blue Wellness Walk at Parque de Vida Pavilion April 27th at noon. Join in on the solidarity to bring awareness to child abuse in our communities. Help carry 400 balloons representing each individual who received care in 2017. That's 400 children last year here in the area. Save the date for April 28th, when Renew Inc. and Southwest Intertribal Voice present Spice Up Your Spring Chili Cook-Off, one of the hottest events of the year. It runs from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Lewis Areola Community Center. It's $10 for adults and $5 for children 10 and under. Proceeds help the groups continue to serve sexual assault victims in the area. For more details or to donate directly, call Renew at 970-565-4886 or Wings Safe House at 970-565-9116. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air. Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well. And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Thank you for watching.